do so.
All right, we are here, ladies and gentlemen. We've been just talking a whole heap of nonsense in the background, but sometimes you have to entertain the nonsense as well. However, we are here, as you can see, the backdrop, ladies and gentlemen. You know what we're going to talk about, but I've got the bad boy Ryan. We have to talk about all your concerns regarding the player in the background, and we're going to do it in a tactical manner. So let's do this.
All right. Here we go, back again on the other side of the coin.
All right, welcome back to the other side of the coin, ladies and gentlemen. You gotta believe, you gotta dream. We've been talking about Neymar. Why not talk about Cristiano Ronaldo as well? Do you know, I want to share a very funny story with you guys, ladies and gentlemen. I was literally working. It's early in the morning. It's what 10:27 a.m. at the moment in Sydney. Obviously, you guys are watching it in a premiere, early UK time, and I was just thinking, oh man, I got up from my seat. I went to the kitchen to get myself a tea. And I was like, oh, I wish I could do a tactical show with Ryan and really talk about Ronaldo and the concerns that some parts of the Chelsea fan base have. And literally, I came back and I saw my messages, and Ryan's message was there, and he was doing, see. And I'm like, oh, we got to do this, Ryan. My man, how you doing?
My exact message was, Miss, don't worry about what everybody else is saying. The goat is coming. See.
See. Bro, before we get into the tactical side of things,
Yes.
some fans don't want this brother to come to Chelsea Football Club. What do you guys say about that, bro?
Yo, I saw a YouTube video on Cristiano. Like somebody was saying that they don't want Cristiano, right? And I saw someone comment saying, "Thanks for being the voice of Chelsea fans." Who's we, bro? Who's we Chelsea
I mean,
fans here,
yeah.
bro? This is the you don't know who is Cristiano Ronaldo, one of the greatest players to walk this earth.
Generational, bro. Generational. That
But,
this is generational.
but you know what? While emotion could get into the way of it, the excitement before Fabrizio crushes us tomorrow, saying he's going to Bayern Munich or something, or PSG or something, I
Yeah.
will say that we're coming out with article board today to look at the logical side of it today. Because I know
Mm.
Miz and myself would want this to happen, but they're gonna have some good reasons for it to happen, and also the downside to it, which we will discuss and bring that to you today on this show.
100. And without further ado, Ryan, let's get on with this tactical side. Let's talk about some of the concerns. Let's get to the nitty gritty, as Eunice always likes to say, Ryan.
Yeah.
We we want to talk about one of the first concerns that some of the Chelsea fan base, fans in the fan base are putting across is he's 37, Ryan. How's he gonna press? He don't press. Thomas Tuchel wants a fluid front three. He's not gonna run around. He's just gonna sit on his backside, and the whole thing's gonna collapse. What's gonna happen? Ronaldo is gonna be a detriment to the team. We're not gonna be able to do nothing. I mean, I feel like that's such a cop out, man. That is such a cop out on a play. And the other factor, people are getting really worried that this will be a Lukaku scenario where Lukaku didn't press, he was static up front, and Ronaldo is just going to do the same thing. I feel
Lakaka.
I feel like as such disrespect to Cristiano, have they not watched him last season on the worst Man United team you can ever imagine? There were times I remember. Were you in the watch along where you, me, and Ishan were watching Spurs versus Man United? Were you there, or maybe you weren't there? Where
No.
You weren't there. Where Cristiano Ronaldo single-handedly won that match. I
Did,
think
did
he
he score
scored a
against
hat
us
trick.
too?
He scored against us as
And
well. He scored
volley.
against us. Half volley. Yeah.
And then he also was it against Atalanta in Champions League?
But they did not deserve to get out of that Champions
But
League
Chris,
group, bro.
that goal, was it like a kind of one-time half volley from the edge of the box to
Yes,
win it?
yes, and yes. Villarreal as well, right at the end. Clutch goals. It was all from him as well. I'm pretty sure Villarreal was him as well. But, Ryan, let's get on this tactical board. He can't press. He's going to break down our play. Talk to me.
Well, if you're gonna put him in Liverpool, yeah, might he cannot fit that press of a Liverpool. But luckily, we do not press like Liverpool. Listen, when people talk about high press, they all seem it's the same thing. They all seem to
Mm,
think that we all want to win back the ball in these areas here, and have this high press, this high energy press. But that is not necessarily the case for all teams. And it's not the case
correct.
for Chelsea either. Because we don't aim to win back the balls in these areas like in Liverpool. We aim to win the ball somewhere else. Let me show you
Mm,
how. So in Chelsea, we have not only Chelsea, in all Tuchel's teams, if you listen to my videos in his PSG days too, whether it's PSG or Chelsea, he uses a 3-2 to press. So one of our wingers would come into midfield to form a three in midfield here, and then
mhm.
we would form a two, right? So what this 3-2 really does, Ms. Sorry. What this 3-2 really does, let me just get these eights out of the way so we can make it a little clearer, right?
Mhm, mhm,
Um, what this 3-2 really does, Miz, is that we don't really try to win the ball in these areas here. What we try
mhm.
to do is create a central overload which forces the defenders to play the ball into these areas, right?
Correct. Correct.
So what's going to happen is that what we need from our front two, which will include a player like Ronaldo, we need both of these players to press the two center backs, right? So
Mm,
if you're thinking about covering ground, it's
mhm,
just A to B, A to
mm.
B. Just make them force that pass to the fullback.
To go sideways. Yep.
Yes. And then what really happens here is these wingers is what needs to press high. So for example, let's go here, this side, so you can show
Shall
it.
we, shall we put some names just to make it a little bit more interesting for everyone? So obviously, ST will put that as Cristiano. I'll say that second striker next to him should be, in my opinion, Raheem Sterling. Would you disagree? Because he'd be the new signing.
Yeah. And probably a right midfielder would be like Mount.
Mount, and
Yeah.
probably that left midfielder, you could say either Havertz
Yeah. Let's
or
just
no, that would actually be Kovacic. That would actually be Kovacic because you'd have Mount,
yeah.
Mount, Ronaldo, and Sterling up front. Yep.
Yeah. So let's just say any of these players here could be like Mount, Harvard, Sterling, Werner, wherever, right?
Correct. Correct.
Any of
Correct.
our wingers. But this one here will be Kovacic. This one here might be Jorginho, or
Mm-hmm,
yeah,
mm-hmm.
or vice versa, right?
Yep.
Um, but what will happen here is that this striker will need to cover only to the center back, and it's really the winger, whether it's on this side or this side, will have to cover a lot of ground to get to that fullback, right?
Mm-hmm.
What happens is that when we force the team to play to the side, is our trigger to actually form a wide overload, right? It's to form a wide overload because if you look at it now, what what Chelsea tried to do is that they try. Let me just bring out the pencil here, right?
Mm-hmm.
What they try to do is hold on. So, for example, you have here, right? What they try to do is they try to create a wide overload to win the ball in these areas here. So, if you see here a diamond, a wide overload diamond, we have 4 versus 2 players here. We've numerically outnumbered them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and what happens many of the times is that this striker here, instead of pressing low, which you would think a Firmino and stuff would do, instead of
Mm.
pressing low, that striker would need to be a wide outlet
Yeah.
on top,
Yeah.
right? So instead of pressing, he would need to be a wide outlet on top, which a Cristiano could do.
I was just gonna say, how many times have we seen Cristiano do that for Man United? Wide outlet, whether it's a left side or right side.
Yeah, and then obviously the opposite wing back will get up to have a front three. And all of a sudden here, what you'd see is that Chelsea would aim to win back the ball in these areas and then spark counter attacks. How much times Kante would be here? We'd have a Werner or something here. We'd have a Havertz or somewhere here. And then we'd
Mm.
have a Chilwell making that overlapping run. And that's how we press to win back the ball in these areas here in wide midfield to spark it up to a front three who could
Mm.
take advantage of a back line that's really spread out. You know what I
Mm. Mm.
mean, Miz? And that's
Yep.
why I don't feel that our main striker, yes, they need to have the energy to press to a certain extent. But it's not, if you watch that Pep, I don't know, Pep something, who is Klopp's assistant manager. He did a video
Mm-hmm.
on how Liverpool presses. And what he says that Liverpool's front three, they don't press, they chase the ball. They chase. Well, my friend at
Mm.
Chelsea, they don't do that. They don't chase the ball. Instead, they create a little overload on top so that the opposition can force the ball into wide areas. So that's the difference between our press and Liverpool press. If Cristiano or Lukaku, any traditional number 9 were to play for that type of press and chasing, it probably wouldn't work. But for our type of Tuchel press, it could work.
So basically, what you're saying, Ryan, is we don't need to have a very sort of blinkers on view in regards to pressing. Pressing isn't just running up to the player and just closing them down. It could be in the sense to drive the opposition to go to an area where we can trap them and overload them, as you said, and then from there on spark a counter attack.
Yeah.
This is what we need as a fan base to understand. There isn't just one way of playing football. People think Thomas Tuchel, fluid front three, that's it, press from the front, win the ball, as Ryan said, win the ball in those centre back areas. No, that's just one way of playing. There are other ways of tactical, adjustments, and this absolutely makes sense. Now, I do want to ask you. So this is obviously, ladies and gentlemen, we've talked about how the idea of Ronaldo will tire out. He's 37. How's he going to press? Ryan's just literally showed off the ball. You don't need to run around like a headless chicken. In fact, that would be detrimental. Just running around like a headless chicken without any point. Having a structure set out, and this is where preseason, training, all that sort of concept. And this is where Thomas Tuchel's know-how in regards to how to drill the team into playing in this manner comes into fruition. Now, we want to talk about the next concern, Ryan, that everyone talks about is, well, okay, fine, Ronaldo comes in, but Ryan, where's our creativity? We need a creator. Who's going to create the goals for Cristiano Ronaldo? We don't have no creator. This is why we went after Dembele, Rafinha, and so on and so forth. This is why we were linked with Neymar. And before I let you sort of go and have a say from your perspective, I've been saying, well, what happened to all your star boy players like Halamanton Odoi, who apparently is a creator? What happened to Havertz lifting his creativity? What happened to Kovacic lifting his creativity as well? Raheem Sterling is more of a goal scorer, but he can create too. And also the wingbacks, Reece James, Ben Chilwell, that can all contribute in creation. And once again, it all comes down to Thomas Tuchel's attacking philosophy in regards to how to create, how to open up an opposition. But Ryan, go ahead, bro. What do you have to say about we need a creator who's going to feed Cristiano?
Listen, would that same argument be there if we were linked with Lewandowski? Because he needs chances too. So basically, say we need a striker who shouldn't get any service then. So we need a striker who doesn't need service to score. So who is that?
Who's that?
So basically saying they don't want a striker then. Basically saying they don't want a striker.
They probably want a false nine. Yeah. Probably
Okay. So I'm gonna say something. Okay, I will agree that the verticality in Chelsea is nowhere where it needs to be, and is nowhere near what a Tuchel team is. Okay, but let's get it clear: the amount of chances our forwards get, regardless of our, really not attacking way of football, not flamboyant way of football, regardless of not being flamboyant in attack or not reaching our full potential, our attackers get multiple chances per game. How much times Timo Werner would get chances? Pulisic would get chances. Havertz would get chances.
Bro, how
Mason
many
Mount
chances did we waste against Real Madrid in that second leg, even being 3-0 up?
But people will say, well, listen, Ryan.
Listen, you Ryan from Caribbean.
Yeah. What do you know about football? You just know about Kenwyn Jones and these guys. What do you know about number 9? Okay. What they would say, a good argument would be is that, listen, okay, maybe Ronaldo wouldn't get those type of chances because of the mobility Havertz and Werner have to get into those positions, to get into those scoring chances. Because you could argue is that when those players get chances, it's not that they're getting fed chances, it's just they happen to be in those areas because of their
Mm.
role in the box, right? Their role is to just be everywhere, right? But I would
Mm.
say this, Miss. Everybody likes to say that Tuchel likes to play with a false nine, right?
Mm.
I love to explain this on Tuchel. So I'm going to 4-3-3 here, right?
Yep.
Just follow me here. Just follow me. 4-3-3, right? So
Mm-hmm.
in a 4-3-3, a lot of people love to talk about false nine. Tuchel loves false nine, false nine. But just like how we said that pressing doesn't need to be the same for every team, well, false nine is not the same for every team. Because if you think about it, right? Many times a false nine would drop into midfield to create a midfield overload, right? So
Mm.
let me just draw that diamond there for y'all. To create a midfield overload to aid and build up, while the two wingers would basically act as strikers, right?
Correct.
As
Correct.
inside forward strikers. Many times, well, a Firmino would do this, and you would have Mane and Salah,
Salah.
for
Yep.
example, most popularly in a 4-3, or many times you see Zlatan. Even though he's a
Mm.
traditional number nine, he would be this guy here. And then you would have like a Cavani here in
Mm.
PSG, and
The
then
best
somebody else.
example, if people remember, Barcelona, Messi playing as a false
Yeah,
nine,
Messi,
Henri and
obviously.
Eto playing as
Or
the
even
wide.
Fabregas as a false nine, and you had Messi out here, and
Correct.
then
Correct.
Villa, Messi and
Yep.
Villa. So that's how a traditional false nine is as of 2012, right? When everybody
Mm.
learned the word false nine. Um, well, at Chelsea is a bit different. It's a bit different. I wanted to look before I erase this midfield diamond. Just remember this diamond forms to aid and build up to gain a numerical advantage. So you have a 4 versus 3 cones here, 3 advantage, right? It
Mm.
aids and build up, right?
Yep.
What Tuchel's philosophy is, Miss, if you remember, because we did this video sometime, I don't know
Mm.
when, but Tuchel's,
Sometime.
yeah. So I'm gonna go back to our three at the back, right?
Yep.
I want you all to bear with me here, please. But if you think about Tuchel's philosophy, right? I always say that Tuchel's philosophy is a 3-4-3 diamond. It's a three
You-
four three diamond, right?
We
So
literally did this last week, a few days ago as well.
yeah,
Remember? You
so
talked
it
about the
had
3-4-3 diamond.
have the diamond here and the two wing backs push up. So when I think about Tuchel's false nine, there is no need for Tuchel's false nine to drop vertically or move vertically in midfield to create a diamond. Why? Because there's already a diamond when
Mm.
Tuchel uses two number 10s, right?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
already a diamond. So what Tuchel's strikers need to be good in movement is not into midfield. It's not to drop in here as a false nine.
It's the
No,
outlets.
it's to not have vertical movement but
Mm.
horizontal movement across the front
Yeah.
three.
Right
So
or the left. Yeah.
yes, and where that horizontal movement comes in, Miss, is when this midfield diamond. Okay, well, we already showed the horizontal movement and press. We had
Mm.
the striker all here. I won't do it
Yep.
over again, but we had it here if you remember. If you go back to
Yep.
the 7th minute of this video. But it's when this midfield diamond overload creates on the side. And I'm gonna show you here just what I'm saying because this is really important. So people could know we're just not talking rubbish, Miss. Right?
Oh, don't worry. People will still say we're talking rubbish.
Yeah, but
But no, we have to get used to it.
luckily for me, I don't read the comments. So yeah. But so when this diamond sometimes Tuchel don't use a central 3-4-3 diamond. What he'll
Mm.
use is a wide diamond. This wide diamond creates a wide overload. How many times, Miss, that we see that we play around defenses? We play around using wide overloads. And when a
Plenty,
wide
plenty.
overload like this happens now, it is the striker's job to be this free man in the final third, to run in
100%.
behind, and
Yep.
he becomes a makeshift winger in the final third. Whereas the right mid, how many times you'd see Ziyech come in here, or Werner, or
But
Havertz?
how many times in that ST position we've seen Havertz be that guy in that wide
Yeah,
area?
Havertz would be here. How many times you
Or
see
Timo
Ziyech
Werner?
here? of
Ziyech,
Bernal.
many
Yeah,
times we've seen
and then
Ziyech in the
wing
middle.
back here, many times you would probably see a James or somebody here, or
Yeah.
Aspie or somebody make that front
People
play.
wonder. People wonder how does Reece James enter into the box? Well, look how high up in the pitch he is in this particular diagram. This is how he finds himself into the box on a regular basis.
Yeah. So what Tuchel's striker would need to do here is he would need to complete that final move. He would need to complete that final running behind in the final third. We don't need Tuchel's striker to be here. We don't need to be here. We don't need to be here. No. We need him to operate in the final third from side to side. And I think a player like Cristiano Ronaldo could do that. He could
Mm,
do that. He has the physicality, he has the technical ability to create from these areas and also score from these areas and also, be that final, make that final run in behind, both from the left and from the right. So in
mm.
press, I've shown you that Ronaldo could accomplish what's needed in press from a
Mm,
horizontal movement point of view, and in attack from a midfield overload, whether
mm.
centrally or wide, he could move horizontally also. Full stop, mic drop.
Mic drop, boom. See, this is why I've been saying that. We've now looked at all the tactical side of things. Let's now talk a little bit from the punditry side of things. This is why I've been entertaining Ronaldo. That look, Lukaku's gone. I'm not ready to move into the new season with Armando Broja and Havertz being our two out-and-out strikers, unless
What you
you
said?
guys are willing to.
You're not ready to
Huh?
move on from Lukaku because that's what your favorite striker at Chelsea. I feel you. I know.
I
I
feel
knew
you,
it.
bro. And look, I'm not willing to give Timo Werner another chance. Like, oh, let's go with Timo Werner, Havertz, and Broja as the striking. No, we've seen Timo Werner, and Timo Werner. I don't know whether he will like to be rotated around too often. He would like to start if he can, and I don't really think Thomas Tuchel will start him. He didn't get that many starts, even when Lukaku wasn't playing last season. So that's that. So I'm not going to revisit that scenario, right? So there is a void. In my opinion, there is a void. Who best can fit that void right now? This is why I wanted Gabriel Jesus, but he's gone to Arsenal. Richarlison, I wasn't a massive favourite of, but I could understand why Chelsea Football Club was interested in Richarlison. He's gone to Spurs. Kane ain't moving, and there's no other player. Lewandowski, you can say, but he's more convinced towards
But even
Barcelona.
with
So
Kane, right? Even with Kane, you would argue that Kane is a more vertical mover when it comes to creating, right?
yeah,
And
yeah,
as a striker, I don't want to see Kane here. Oh, no, you're not seeing my board. But yeah, I don't want to see Kane on the wing. I want to see,
let me bring up your board again.
like Kane, you would argue that Kane he moves vertically, he
He
gets into
does, yeah.
midfield areas. But I don't want to see Kane move to here and create chances from here and beat players 1v1.
That's not his style, though. He
Kane is
can't
a
do
more
that anyway. Do you know
Kane
what I mean?
game really reminds me of Zlatan, to be honest. Like how
Mm.
he drops into midfield here, and that's not the kind of striker we need. You need to understand that just because we say it's a false nine doesn't mean that it's the same tactics over and over and over for every
Yeah.
single team with a false nine.
100%. And this is something we need to remember. Now, coming back to that whole Cristiano Ronaldo, Ryan, I want to ask you, why are people so. Before we get into the wages and ego, let's just talk about him being a champion first up, Ryan. Why are people so peeved off about this? I'm not saying go out there and give Cristiano Ronaldo a 5-year contract. He won't last for 5 years anyway in footballing terms. He's probably going to have another 2-3 years max at top level, and then he may go to MLS or back to Sporting. There's no way I'm going to entertain a 5-year contract. I'm saying on a short term, he's got 1 year left at Man United. He doesn't want to be in Man United. Man United, why would you want to have an unhappy player under Eric Ten Hag who's trying to start a new regime? From their perspective as well, it would make sense. Okay, this player doesn't want to stick around. Let's move him on. He's on high wages. If we can do some sort of deal to come to the middle ground, which we'll get to as well. But I want to ask you now, why would people be peeved off about this champion of a player coming to Chelsea? I mean, what's your thoughts? He's won so many awards and titles everywhere.
Well, I think a lot of it has to do with tactics, which we explained and we kind of dismissed the concerns or ease the concerns on people. But the one that has nothing to do with tactics would be, I think it would be two things.
Mm,
It would be one, when it comes down to football and reasons, it would be, other than tactics, it would be that the moral of the team, where everything needs to be, everybody needs to pass to Cristiano. Everybody, they would have a pressure that he would need to be played all the time. If he gets substituted
mm,
too early, that he could have a rift with Tuchel, he could fall out with teammates, this and that. Which I would say is probably something to think about, because I remember one time Ragnish took him out in the 80th minute just to preserve his body, and he was
mm,
really angry at that. I think Sari also said that how when it comes down to Cristiano, there's not only sporting things you need to accomplish. He's a brand, you know what I
mm,
mean? So there's certain minutes he has to play, certain appearances, certain things that, you know, it's not about Chelsea. It's not about he is coming here to help Chelsea. It's about more like it's about Cristiano Ronaldo. When it's about Cristiano
100%.
Ronaldo, and that's something that could regress Chelsea's culture, because while, you know, these sort of players could kind of be like a ringleader, you know, in the
Mm,
team.
mm,
You know, we've seen like sometimes maybe how like a Pogba could have been a ringleader in Manchester United, and how players close to him, you know, kind of fell out with managers, etc. The
mm.
last thing you want is that your marquee signings has fallen out with your manager, and you know who gets axed at the end of the day. It's not only at Chelsea but in world football, except barring Pep Guardiola and Klopp,
Mm,
player
mm.
has power over the manager, and that's a concern players like Cristiano, players like Neymar could bring to Chelsea.
Look, I completely hear, and this is something I've just watched Eunice's video not that long ago about this particular matter, and Eunice actually spoke about it very eloquently about this. I think basically what you're saying is the ego, right? You're right. Cristiano ain't coming to Chelsea only to help Chelsea. That's not his only thing. He's coming here for himself as well to win more silverware, which in essence, if that is his aim, is something that will help us out. Him wanting to win more silverware means we are winning silverware as well. But what Eunice was saying, I think this is quite interesting. He's saying that this Chelsea football team, it's not like we don't have champions in our team either. We literally, there's a lot of these players that have recently just won the Champions League. Prior to that, we won the Europa League, and there's still players within the team that has won Premier League as well, in the likes of Cesar Azpilicueta and N'Golo Kante. They, they shouldn't. There shouldn't be a case where they can't work with each other. I mean, if it's for a short term, I'd find it so baffling if this group of players who have won big stuff, Champions League is a huge thing for some of these players like Mason Mount, Reece James, and so on and so forth. I'd find it very weird if they're not able to, communicate and work together with Cristiano Ronaldo, who is also a winner, like and a crazy leader, a monster mentality. I mean, is that does that sound strange to you? Like, I mean, I can understand why he's fallen out in Man United, because Man United, those players, they've not won anything. They don't know how to win anything, and they've been a bit of a joke for a while now. I would find it very strange if that exact thing happened at Chelsea Football Club. Am I right to say that?
Well, yeah, and you need to think about it this way, that while you would probably have those concerns with a 34-year-old Ronaldo coming at Chelsea, this is a 37-year-old Ronaldo coming at Chelsea, meaning that, listen, he's not gonna try to have long-term power at Chelsea. He's not gonna try to stay here for more than 18 months max. Um,
Mm-hmm.
to be honest, so the thing is, what he's coming, he wants to have one last try at the Champions League. That's what
Mm,
Cristiano Ronaldo wants. He wants to win the Champions League one more time, right? And he's
mm,
gonna try to do it one more time, give it the old college try, and Chelsea could be that club where he could do that. And when he's coming here with him, I don't think he's gonna come here to fall out with managers. I don't think he's coming here to change the culture. I don't think he's coming here to make it about him. While
mm.
history would show that, but this time history is different, because I feel that this might be the last chapter in European football for Cristiano Ronaldo. You know what I mean?
100%.
At least at the
100%.
highest level. So, and in this last chapter, he wants the ending to the chapter, and the ending is to raise that Champions League trophy. And where better to do it than alongside Mason Mount?
100%. Why not? Do you know what I mean? What a narrative that you've just written out. Like, this could possibly be the very last few opportunities Cristiano Ronaldo is going to get to win the Champions League again, to finish off his, I suppose, illustrious career with the number of Ballon d'Ors, the number of Champions League, and so many titles all over the world as well. So, if that's what he wants, the motivation shouldn't be a issue. This is the other thing that I want to talk about. People are worried, Ryan, that he'll be similar to Lukaku. I feel like Ronaldo is in a different planet to Lukaku in terms of motivation, in terms of his work ethic. There's a reason why this guy's physical condition is probably better than some of the, 25, 26-year-olds. I mean, are you worried that the motivation could be an issue? Are you worried that he may go off and sneak and do an interview himself,
No,
much
no,
like
no,
Lukaku
no.
did?
The thing is, one thing Ronaldo loves more than himself is winning,
Winning.
and he loves that. Let me tell you something. This guy, every time he goes on the field, he gives 100%. He does what he has to do. He's literally on the verge of tears when he draws a match, a meaningless match. He's on the verge of tears. That's the difference in mentality it had in Mane. You could see the difference in him versus the other players. Walking off after a draw, he dropped 2 points. Ronaldo looked like it's the end of the world for him. Whereas the other players in Mane didn't really care. And I think that mentality is really welcome at Chelsea. And I would welcome it as the manager of Chelsea, as top four tactics. I would welcome him. But yeah, I think one of the, you talked about it, his attitude, and that could be a major concern. But you know what, Miss? I think another major concern people have is wages. Uh,
This is the word I wanted to bring
because
it up
a
now.
good
Yeah.
argument people making that the amount of money it would cost, because there would be a transfer fee for him because it's 1 year left. So I think it would be near 20 million probably for him.
Minimum. Yeah.
20 million, and then probably a large amount of, how much he makes per year.
Apparently, he makes 400K a week. So that's a hefty amount, or 400
Yeah,
or 450,
plus
north
signing
of 400,
bonuses, and
basically.
then plus
Yeah.
agent fees, etc. It would be a big signing. It would be probably amounting to, if we sign like a Gabriel Jesus or something for that 50 million, right? So it would be a big sign in itself. And what people argument is that it could take away from other signings. Well, we probably would need more like a DM, etc.
The way things are going, Ryan, in the market are highly. Look how difficult it's been to get the people that we're linked with. Sterling, yes, is in the bag. The league, look how difficult that is happening. It looks like it will happen, but Bayern Munich is into the race. Look how
Liz,
difficult. Yeah.
I said last time, I'll say is that Chelsea should be careful not to try to complete this transition in one transfer window. Meaning that if you get rid of 6 players and try to sign 6 players, but 4 of the 6 players is not right, and you end up stuck with 4 players for 3 to 4 years, like the Bakayokos, like the Drinkwaters, and high
Exactly.
wages,
Exactly.
that could send us back more years. I
100%.
think that sometimes, in some cases, a stopgap is a good solution.
This is why I'm more interested with Ronaldo. We're
Because
not looking Ronaldo for a long term. Do you know what I mean?
right now, other than Lewandowski, and let's not kid ourselves, Lewandowski has a whole package with wage and like transfer fee would cost near 70 million, right? So let's not compare what Ronaldo's cost to Lewandowski's. But other than him, there's no striker on the market right now to really say, oh, let's invest in the striker. I saw people saying on videos that they want to invest in youth in 25. Name me a 25-year-old striker who would come in and tear it apart. The last one I really had was Darwin Núñez,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
he's gone,
He's
right?
gone to Liverpool. Do
He's
you know what I
gone.
mean?
And then Haaland, he's gone. So I would think that Cristiano, a stopgap sometimes is needed because it would
Mm.
stop us from making a long-term mistake. A stopgap
Bang on.
could save you some time. So next season, when that new striker, that new starlet come
That you're
available,
there
we could
first.
get him.
Yeah.
Because let me
Yeah.
tell you something. After World Cup, Ronaldo might not want to play European
Mm.
football again, right? He might go
Mm.
MLS, he might join Beckham's team or whatever. So I think that this season could be his last hurrah in European football. And why not have someone who's motivated? He wants to win it all. It's not like he's coming for a last paycheck. He's coming here because he
Ah,
wants to win.
bang on, bro.
And
Bang
why
on.
you want one of the best players? Let me tell you something. Cristiano Ronaldo is still top 10 players in the world,
Undoubtedly, bro.
right? He's still top
Undoubtedly.
10 players in the world. So you have a top 10 player in the world coming to your team for 1 year because he wants to win trophies.
And you're going to say no to that.
And they could probably stop you from making a mistake and signing a long term player who may not fit the bill. Let me tell you something. Raheem
Exactly.
Sterling, right? Even though I rate him as a player, right?
Yeah.
But there's news coming out saying that he wants a pay increase,
Yeah.
and he's on
Yeah.
what, nearly three fifty
Yeah.
thousand,
He's on 300 plus. He's on
right?
300 plus.
So that'll
This
be
is what
nearing.
worries me about
So,
Raheem
so
Sterling. It really
Raheem
does.
Sterling 400,000, near 400,000.
Hmm.
Cristiano Ronaldo 400,000. Like, so
And with Cristiano, you're only going to look at one more
yeah, one
season.
year. So you're
Raheem
paying
Sterling's going to have
for
5 years
5 years,
minimum.
probably for a 1 year extension after that five too. So would it hurt the club to pay this player for 1 year? And think about all the funds they're gonna get from merchandise and this and that and all these sponsors and
Let's talk
everything.
about this. So, just quickly in regards to the wages, one way what Ryan just said, we could go out there and purchase Ronaldo from Man United. 1 year left. Look at maybe about 20, 25 million, 30 million max, and then obviously you decide on the salary. I'm more looking at a loan situation because the way I'm thinking, Man United, you're in the mud. Your player doesn't want to be with you. So financially, you are now screwed. So it is in your sort of best interest to do a deal with us or whoever else is interested. So I'm more thinking 1 year loan. Yeah, at the end of the loan, the player's gone, but at least you're going to save on some of his wages and you're potentially going to get a bit of a loan fee from us. So I don't know how much the loan fee could be. Let's say we make a agreement 15 million loan fee, and we cover 50% of his wages. So that way, from Man United's point of view, we've now let go of a player that doesn't want to be with us. We've got a bit of a loan fee with 1 year remaining, and we've been able to save 50% of his wages. So there's a win-win situation for Man United from that perspective. Or else the other alternative is Man United keeps Ronaldo, who's an unhappy player, and that's going to create more of a chaos for Eric Ten Hag, who's just come in and trying to build a new culture. So that's that in terms of financial standpoint. Now let's talk about what Ryan just said, ladies and gentlemen. Todd Bowley talks about making Chelsea a global brand. How much of that could you do with the like of Cristiano Ronaldo, who's got a massive social network and a social reach? He's got what, over millions and millions of followers in Instagram. He's got fans all over the world. There are fans that just simply follow Cristiano Ronaldo club to club. I kid you not, people sometimes laugh about these merchandise sales. I will be one of the first ones that will buy an authentic CR7. That's if Kante gives out the 7. I'm pretty sure Kante would give his 7 away for Cristiano, because at the end of the day, that's a brand. I'd be one of the first ones to buy Cristiano Ronaldo's number 7 jersey, the official Chelsea jersey. How often you get to own one of that? Like, everyone out there will do that. Stadiums will be filled out. Do you think sponsors, big sponsors, won't come in to do deals with Chelsea Football Club because there is Cristiano Ronaldo? TV rights, there'll be. I read a report on The Athletic as well saying that Chelsea's matches will be then televised even more because of Cristiano Ronaldo. So you're going to make more money. So, Ryan, from a financial standpoint, there's a lot of money to be made with Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yeah, I mean, I agree completely. And as I said, it's low risk because it'll only be probably 1 year with an option to increase for another year. So
Correct.
it's low risk also. So it's a much lower risk, for example, than, for example, if you're gonna get like a Dybala on a 5 year deal who is injury prone and who will be on wages 300 plus. You know what I mean? But so it's low risk. Miss, I want to make one more argument before, like, one more argument. I don't know what people mean by this. People say that we need to play all for Cristiano Ronaldo. We need to play all for Cristiano Ronaldo, right? But and then they go on the same breath and say Cristiano Ronaldo is not the same guy. He wouldn't drop into midfield and play and stuff like that, right? So I'm asking you, okay, so when you think about you need to play all for Cristiano, you're thinking about you need to get the ball to him as much as possible. But if he's not dropping into midfield, that means you don't need to get the ball to him as much as possible. So what you're talking about is we need to provide service for him. So how is that this weird ideology and this abomination to the football gods that we need to send in across our striker? Maybe we should. It's not the striker's problem that we should send across them. It's probably our wingers' fault that they don't.
Exactly
So
right.
how is it Cristiano Ronaldo's fault, a striker, that he needs a cross in the box to head it into the goal?
Exactly right, bro. How's it his fault? We should be looking at other areas where there's issues. One of our hugest problem last season was we don't put our chances away. How many times did we see Havertz against Man United? I remember we should have been at least 3-4 nil up at half time, and Havertz missed good 2-3 clear cut chances. How many times we've seen Christian Pulisic miss chances? How many times did we even see Mason Mount in Carabao Cup, in FA Cup, Christian Pulisic in Carabao Cup as well? Christian Pulisic right at the end against Leicester, against many other teams. Callum Hudson-Odoi can barely shoot. Hakim Ziyech has missed as well. Timo Werner, how many times have we seen him miss? Lukaku against Real Madrid, that header. Our issue is we don't have a lethal weapon. Seems like we don't have a lethal weapon up front, and there couldn't be a bigger lethal weapon than Cristiano Ronaldo.
Exactly. But the thing is, only if, and we'd need attackers around them, only if we had a DM like
This is true,
Declan
though.
Rice, like Declan Rice, to
We're
hold
going to do
down
this again.
everything.
We're going to put pause again.
And Declan breaking the lines of play, commanding the attack.
Switch off play.
Yeah, I mean, hitting a 5-yard pass sideways to this other player. I mean, we need a DM who could do that.
Do you know what? This is not a joke. I think someone like Cristiano Ronaldo, because when you talked about in the midfield being Kovacic and Jorginho, maybe someone of a more of a physical stature would make sense. Ladies and gentlemen, I've got the bell happening. Someone's here, so I've got to wrap things up. Ryan, my man, I'll catch you later. Hope you guys have all enjoyed this. Smash the like button. Comment below any of your thoughts, concerns, whatnot. Until next time, everyone, take care. See ya.